Hey guys, a lot of you have asked about kids' chores, and I'm not saying that I have all the answers, but man, have I learned a lot, especially this summer, as I have a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and all but the 2-year-old are doing chores every single day, a couple times a day. So today I'm going to share with you our chore system, how I get our kids to do chores, how I manage them, and let's just talk about why we're doing chores. Chores give children a sense of belonging. It lets them know that they matter in the home and that their work matters to a functioning environment. And chores are essential to life. They're part of our life. If we are doing school and feel like we don't have time for chores, then our priorities are wrong. They're off. And I'm saying this because I have fallen into that trap before where it was like, oh, we got to get school started, and the kitchen's a mess and nothing's like, all the stuff is piled up in the sink and there's food on the floor. It's disgusting. We want our kids to live in a home that it feels nice to be in. And when we have a space that is at least tidy. I'm not saying we have to scrub everything. Let's just live in a tidy space. It really helps us be able to think well, think clearly. We're not looking for everything all the time. That order helps to shape us. So in this video, I'm sharing our chore system, and hopefully you're encouraged. All right, so base operations for chores revolves around the dining room and the kitchen because those are the places that get disgusting the most frequently. But I figured out that I had to have before breakfast chores and then after breakfast chores. And then I had to figure out, okay, what are we doing before breakfast? What can you do before breakfast? Take out the garbage. You can start the laundry. Somebody can start breakfast. Somebody else needs to empty the dishwasher, and the little smaller people can empty the silverware. So that's kind of where we're at with our before breakfast chores. And since I have 5 active chore people, I'm managing all 5 people for those chores. Have you started the laundry yet? Have you started breakfast yet? Are you all the things. So that really was a good paradigm shift for me to go, oh, why aren't you just getting up and doing your chores? Well, because you're a child, that's why. And I need to be managing the chore system. Now, some people might say, well, you're making them depend on you. I don't know. This is what works, and they will do what they are held accountable to do. That's just human nature. So the thing about chores is that nobody wants to do them, and everyone in my home is always frustrated or upset that they have to do chores. So I found that a lot of it had to do with my own attitude about chores and just kind of this idea that, I don't know, as if it was an option. And I think part of that is I grew up in a home with 2 children and I went to public school. So in my family culture, there really wasn't a lot of chores, and it was okay that my room was disgustingly messy, for my whole childhood. Now I'm trying to create a little bit different atmosphere and also some responsibility than I was brought up with. So sometimes it feels like you're like steering a barge and it just really won't turn. Little by little, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, we are making progress and we're shaping their childhood. We really want them. I want my kids to live in a home that is at least tidy and that they have memories of a home that is just a pleasant place to be. All right, so let's talk about after breakfast chores. After breakfast chores usually includes clearing the table, sweeping the floor, wiping down the table, and then loading the dishwasher. There also has to be someone who cleans up. We always make eggs and sausage in the morning. So someone has to clean the pan. Somebody has to put the dish away. You know, all of that has to happen. And if I'm not standing in the doorway, holding people accountable, I will have, you know, I have so many kids, like it's easy for them to hide. Now I do have children who just get up and just get it done. And then, oh, I already started my school, Mom. Look, I already finished all day. You know, but that's not every day. That's sweet, wonderful blessings that pop up every now and then. Okay, so then we have afternoon chores. Afternoon chores are something that happens while the baby is usually napping, and it's been after lunch. You know, each meal should probably have chores. I've not done great about implementing that. Afternoon chores have more to do with, you know, taking care of the schoolroom. I've got someone who needs to vacuum kind of the main living space every single day because we live here. We are in it all the time. Another afternoon chore that I found needs to be done daily is wiping down the toilets, wiping down the sinks, emptying the bathroom garbage cans, and then sweeping the kitchen. So those are kind of our main chores that really need to be done daily and sometimes multiple times per day. And I've talked to some older moms about chores and how they get their kids to do them. And I've told them how my kids are, you know, laying on the floor, upset, crying, frustrated, whatever, when I ask them or, you know, hold them accountable to do their chores. And they're like, yeah, my kids never did that. So obviously there's something that I'm doing in my expectations that is allowing some of that to happen. So I have really been working on my own attitude. And one of the things I've been saying, like when someone's like, why do I have to clean this pan? Or why do I have to wipe up this mess? It's somebody else's mess. And there's this beautiful quote by Mother Teresa, and I'll throw it up here. And she says, clean the dish, not because you have to, or because even it's dirty, but because you love the person who is going to use it next. So we're really ordering our hearts and our attitudes toward serving one another so that we can live in a place that we can enjoy being in, but also that we can practice hospitality in, where it's not going to be like moving heaven and earth to invite friends over. And I took Mystie Whinkler's Homemaking 101 class and Organize Your Attitude class this last spring during the lockdowns. And it was so paradigm shifting for me. It really helped order my heart and order my affections. I feel like in a rightly ordered way to look at work and the work that we have around the home as something that is part of what God has designed us and put us here for. It's not just something to be inconvenienced by and, oh, I have to do work. You know, I mean, we're not, you know, I think Cinderella has done a disservice to us. You know, we see this person who is happy to serve and willing to scrub, and we're like, well, we don't want to be Cinderella. And in a lot of ways, we really do want to be Cinderella. We want to have a servant's attitude that we are willing to care for our home. When the stepsisters, they were the wicked ones. They were the ones who were not willing to take care of the home and really contribute, right? They were more interested in, you know, being beautiful, and, you know, we don't want to align ourselves with the stepsisters. We want to align ourselves with Cinderella. Okay, so that leads us to our bedtime chores. And bedtime chores are probably my weakest link because by the end of the day, I am exhausted and I'm having a harder time being pleasant and sweet when I'm asking kids to join me in, you know, cleaning the home. So that's when Daddy kind of sweeps in, and we usually want to have them straighten their bedrooms, get their PJs on, brush their teeth. Like those are kind of the basics. So the tidying of the room, oftentimes I'll send them into the schoolroom, which is kind of our main living space, and have them clean that up if there is a mess everywhere, usually pencils and papers, that kind of thing. Or I'll send them down to the basement if they've been down there. Most of the time, you know, I want messes to be out of doors, please. So one little trick that I have found when we've been doing chores and people are frustrated is I will turn on some music. And the music that I've found for me that's fun is like some sock hop, like 50s kind of real bouncy kind of music that gets us going and, you know, can just be funny. I would love to hear if you have some music. I really want to find some good cleaning music that we can play for 5 minutes that will be really fun and uplifting. Once we kind of get a little bit more into the school year and we have all of our folk songs, I may also just play some of our folk songs during that time because those are usually fun and peppy. So that's all I have about chores today. Leave a comment. Let me know what chores your children do. I would also love to know if you have additional questions that I didn't answer. Let me know that in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.